Hi, I'm Anna.
And I'm Ben.
And we are AutoSave. Welcome to our channel.
Today we're watching My Hero Academia, Season 6, Episode 3. Last episode we had Mirko kick some butt and lose some arm.
It was wrung out like a wet towel.
Like the ShamWow guy. And
Yeah.
it was rough.
It looks rough.
It
looks really rough.
Quite a bit worse than Deku's arm usually looks. So I don't have much hope.
It looks worse than when the doctors were like, hey, Deku, don't do this again.
Yeah. Look, I love Mirko more than anybody.
From the bottom of your heart.
Yeah.
With all of you.
I'm a little nervous. I think Mirko could maybe do the whole mission by herself, but it might come at the cost of her own life, and I don't want that to be the case. Right. So reinforcements need to arrive this episode.
Yeah, I definitely want Mirko to survive. I don't think a kiss is going to make it better in terms of her arm, but I don't want her to lose her life on top of that. And I know that reinforcements are trying to get in there.
Yeah. But
there's a stupid Nomu blocking the entrance. But it was really interesting because we ended on that kind of tense, Mirko's badass, yes, but also this is a rough, tense,
rough
one-on multiple Nomu fight. When we saw Endeavor fight that one, and these are all the same thing. They're all high ends.
Yeah.
Except they aren't was it their full stability after 10 hours or something?
It was a obscure percentage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And nonetheless, they are all just like that one, the Endeavor and Hawks struggled to fight.
Yeah, it's a grim situation to be in.
And then we had that flip side with the villa ending all kind of hopeful.
Kaminari.
That was amazing.
Yeah, great animation, a great action scene. I didn't expect it. We got a cool animation moment from Kaminari last season. And I was like, okay, not expecting anything out of him. Then we had this crazy friendship, romance. I don't know.
It was a deep connection.
It was something, beautiful. But it doesn't matter what it was. I enjoyed it, and it was great with him and Jiro.
Mm-hmm.
And
we had an emotional response to it.
Yeah, we liked it a lot.
We did. We really loved it.
But I don't know. I'm excited to see what happens. Hopefully we get introduced to some more quirks that we haven't seen or we've seen but not had explained to us, because I love being explained quirks.
I'm excited to see the other students that are at the villa with Kaminari.
Yeah.
Because obviously we know Kaminari was chosen, and now we know why.
Yeah.
He was chosen to be right there at the villa.
And so was Cementos with Mudman, and they both have similar-ish quirks, right?
Yeah, and we have, so Mudman, Komori, Tokoyami. I'm like, why? Because they wouldn't bring students here, right here to the battle, unless their quirks could really help either against someone's quirk inside the villa or help, containing
They're surgical with this kind of thing.
Yeah. And so I'm really excited because I think Mudman was one of my favorites when it was Class A versus Class B. So I'm excited.
All right. You ready?
Yeah.
Sweet. Okay, that was My Hero Academia, Season 6, Episode 3.
That hurt. That hurt.
Yeah. That definitely hurt. I started to believe they weren't going to kill him.
I mean, Hawks tried so hard to not kill him. He unfortunately had to in that moment. It's he gave twice 5 chances or more, in the end there.
So you don't think after the first chance, when he said that he decided that he was going to kill him, you don't think he meant it in that time?
I think he was, because right after he said it the first time, he was like, okay, well, that wound I gave you, you can't do much with that.
Yeah.
And I think he still was trying to do the biggest damage he could without mortally wounding twice.
I went through such a range of a roller coaster of the same emotion. The first time they were, I guess, taunting his death or making me think it might happen, they had some of the most beautiful string instrument music I have ever heard and never heard in this show. I don't think, at least. And I was I was like in tears. I was like, holy shit, this is the most tragic thing in the world. You had one of the last things he did was make doubles of all of his friends. And I was like, I was weeping.
He's out of all of the villains, he's the most that, like, shouldn't be there. Or, like, you don't.
I love him out of, like, the most.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And he's the one that I'm pretty sure it was one of his lines, but that was, what if a hero had met me, you know? Or something like that. No, Shigaraki says that. But Twice has that same energy of, like, what... He was just unlucky with how things happened, and it just seemed like everyone else just... He was down on his luck, he wasn't treated well, and what if someone had just extended their hand to him that was a good guy? Someone did extend their hand to him, but it was a villain.
Yeah, I love Twice like I would love a character who is a hero, right? Like on our side of good.
Mm-hmm. I think they gave him enough emotional attention for us to definitely connect and really, really like him.
I think he's a very tragic character, and obviously, like, yay, Deadpool, haha, funny. There's so much of Twice that is not a copy and paste of a character like Deadpool that I think is just really good writing, and, like, really, I love him as a character.
I had a feeling it was gonna hurt when we had, I don't know if it was last episode or the episode before it, before the attack. I think it was 2 episodes ago, the first episode maybe even, where Hawks was talking to Twice, and it seemed like we knew as the viewer that he was being betrayed.
Yeah.
But he just the friendship that was there, and how kind Twice truly is, and caring Twice truly is.
They don't kill off characters in the show very easy. You know? They definitely lean more on the side of safe when it comes to death.
Right, and that's what heroes would do. Heroes would, like, that whole reason that villain kidnapped Endeavor's other son, you know? Was like, I want you to kill me, not just put me in jail.
I just wanted to, like, clarify, I don't mean that they never do death in the show. They've done death several times, like, and it has hit several times, but it's just always, like, I'd never fully believe it at first.
Right.
But towards the end of the episode, when they kind of faked me out that Hawks is going to die, like, twice already, mm-hmm. I was like, man, if they don't kill him, I think it wouldn't be right if they didn't kill him at this point with how they were going with the story. So in a messed up way, I'm glad that the story went that way, but it betters the story, but it sucks that it has to come at the cost of a character that I'm obsessed. I love.
I think what made me think that Hawks couldn't die yet was by Dabi saying his full name.
Oh my god.
I was like, once that happened, you can't just kill Hawks with him being like, how do you know my real name? Because obviously that's a secret. I didn't know that was a secret, but it must be. Before
we even got that, we got Hawks in an undershirt alone that I feel like you just glossed over. Like, sure, yeah, great. We got his name. That's a great reveal, but his shirt is also a great reveal.
His, like, whole costume in general is just amazing. Amazing, amazing.
Yeah.
And, like, now he doesn't have his glasses anymore, and you're right, the undershirt, it's all fantastic. It's all A+.
It is great. I'm trying to pull up Hawk's name. 1 second.
Dabi just has a thing with people's real names. He called Endeavor by Endeavor's real name. Now he's calling Hawk. Is it because he's trying to be like your person just like me, but you're put on this like self-righteous throne of being a hero? Maybe that's just like his like thing that he likes to call people heroes by their real names to like, bring them down a level.
Keigo Takami. Mm-hmm. I am going to take this moment to try to use it to connect the Dabi being a Todoroki theory. If Endeavor
that was my evidence.
Yeah.
And now it's kind of gone.
Wait, why?
Well, if he's calling everyone by their first names.
Well, no, I'm saying that he might know his first name because his dad was the number 2 hero, so he has connections, like, growing up before his death, you know?
At first I was like, what if they were, like, in school together?
I mean, Todoroki got into UA through recommendations. He could have been doing, like, a recommendation-style training beforehand and knew of Hawks, maybe. Maybe that's why he never trusted him.
To begin with. Because he knew he would never betray...
Perhaps.
...the heroes.
On the shot of Twice dying and talking to Toga, when his tear turned into, like, the muck that made up him... I was like, oh my god.
What got me with the oh my god was realizing the handkerchief wasn't the real handkerchief. That's what got me.
I was hoping it was.
I was hoping it was too, but it made it even more freaking depressing.
Yeah.
And just like the look on Toga's face from this, like, I know they're villains. I know they've done bad things, but you have to admit that they all care about each other in their little group.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
Like,
they're a family.
They're a family in their own way. And you can't... you have to place some value on their interpersonal relationships and their loves and their affection for one another and how important one another are in their lives to kind of make them feel whole and make them... Especially with characters who feel like unlucky, like their place in the world, they didn't have one until they got here.
Yeah. I have 2 questions for you. Number one. Is Twice dead?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. I
they would
agree.
that was a display.
I agree. And number 2, does that mean Hawks is going to die at some point? Does writing Twice's death at the hands of Hawks, with Twice going out this way and saying what he said...
It makes Hawks have more of a bullseye on his back for Toga.
Yeah, I'm thinking even narratively, I think he has more of a bullseye on his back now. I think...
Oh, well, in general, with his position to the betrayal of the Paranormal Liberation Front, you know? Like, now he has a bullseye for all those villains. Because not only is he a hero, but they want revenge.
Yeah.
Like, double revenge. They already wanted revenge just because he calls himself a hero. But now he screwed them over and they lost some of their friends.
Yeah. I thought Dabi looked really good this episode.
If Dabi knew this whole time not to trust him, why did Dabi let Twice hang out with Hawks? Dabi was, like, playing games here. He seems like he wanted the heroes to attack so he could have some fun.
Yeah, Dabi's just having fun, man.
Yeah, like, he totally, like, placed Twice on Hawk's duty for the fun of it.
Yeah. You really don't, realize how some of these quirks can be used, like, to such a deadly degree sometimes. Like, when Toga used Uraraka's quirk to kill those people.
Oh, yeah, you never think of Uraraka. If she ever saw that.
Yeah.
If she saw, like, a video replay of what Toga did with her quirk.
Yeah.
She'd be horrified.
And then Hawks, like, you can envision how it could be deadly. But even with these weak Twice clones, like, oh, it's devastating. Like, it's so deadly. And then he, like, can move so quick out the window around the building again just to be... Ugh.
It was very,
Hawks
very
is so
cool.
powerful.
Hawks is not in a great position in the moment because, yes, he did just kill Twice here, but he has burnt wings and Dabi is still fighting him. And Dabi, as Hawks admitted, is the worst quirk matchup for him.
Correct. Yeah. And the last thing I have is we had the craziest moment in all of My Hero Academia, which was Fat Gum running with Tokoyami in his stomach.
Right here. It was.
I can't believe it's happening.
His hands were like this. It was maybe the cutest. It reminds me of, like, when people, and I say people, but we have one of those globe backpacks for your cats. As if, you know?
Yeah.
That's what it reminds me of.
To me, I'm like, just don't leave. Like, you can fight from afar with Dark Shadow in there, and Fat Gum can protect your body.
Are they trying to get the kids out? Like, use the kids for what they needed the kids to do, and then get them out?
I think so.
Like, the situation?
Get them away from danger.
I thought Tokoyami was going to be like, once he learned Hawks was in there, he was going to be like, let me go fight with Hawks.
Yeah.
But
Hawks
I think he more
himself.
just like, Hawks better survive so I can show him how much stronger I am now.
I agree.
And I'm like, Hawks just better survive for my mental health, so.
There were some crazy, creepy Hawk shots this episode.
His eyes were so good.
When it was like, when they were just pure white, you know, and in a dark frame.
I was so really happy when when I saw it just kind of paralleled with the opening.
Yeah.
Like, because I think this opening was great in terms of like, a lot of the times we're scared that they're going to be like overly spoiler of a scene that we're going to get, like literal contextual scene that we're going to get.
Yeah.
That, I just thought it was a cool shot of Hawks.
It was.
I didn't think anything of it in terms of context to truly happening in the show.
Yeah.
It was just a situation he was in. I would have never guessed it was twice. I would have never guessed that he was fighting. It just seemed like an emotional scene of him in a doorway, and they used his feathers creatively to, you know, move the scene along in the opening. But
it was great.
Mm-hmm.
Edgeshot has got to be one of the craziest quirks. To have one of the craziest quirks in the entire universe.
Dangerous.
Fold a body. I would love to see a full backstory on Edgeshot from like born to now. Like how good was your quirk at the start? How much did you need to develop it? Could you only fold your body like 6 folds over at max at first? Like,
or maybe just his like hand at first.
Yeah.
Also, the amount of like anatomy and organ knowledge this man must have learned to become a professional hero in order to be able to render a villain kind of incapacitated without killing them.
I wonder how many like days he spent running like exploring the inside of bodies. You need some hands-on.
He would have killed the people.
No, what if you use like cadavers? Like,
oh. Yeah, he probably had to do that.
Yeah.
To, like, perfect it.
To, like, really know where things are.
Oh, it's kind of like in science class when you're, like, dissecting an animal. But they probably did that.
I was thinking a little different.
To practice.
I want, like, a full consciousness POV of Edgeshot's
just, like, inside someone's body.
It's like a magical school bus kind of moment. Yeah. And like
a magical school bus tapeworm.
Yeah, it'd be amazing.
Inside the body. Horrifying.
I want that next episode. I expect it. We did not get any Mirko. That's a little nervous.
We don't know what's happening in the hospital. I think they said at the beginning of the episode that this is what's happening while Endeavor is fighting the defenses. So that means while Mirko is also fighting in what we got last episode. So this is just what is happening during the timing of last episode.
I'm loving it. I can say that I've not watched My Hero in a while, other than the start of the season. And
you joined me for a few episodes.
Yeah.
To rewatch.
But like I'm very surprised at how into it I am like actually feeling. I thought that I was going to feel a little disconnected from it and a little like, oh, I've seen other anime, whatever. Because this is one of my first anime that I've ever watched other than Dragon Ball, to be honest. And I'm head over heels, such like a nostalgic spot in my heart for it.
It's one of those things that I think over the years we have come to a disagreement of how My Hero entered your life. I still say that I told you to watch it.
Nah.
And you always say, nah, whenever I say that.
Nah. I think I do it mainly as a bit. I am 90% sure that you were like, hey, you should watch My Hero Academia. And
it was like during the first season, or maybe the first season was over and I was watching the second season, something like that.
I swear.
And I was like, I think you'd enjoy it.
I think the second season was already out. I passed you like on a straight binge.
I like stopped watching and you just
that was
ever
so long
since
ago.
have been on point with watching it.
Yeah, I had such a big obsession with this show too. for a while. Like when I first, because I really never was into anime much. I know a lot about Dragon Ball and would just rewatch Dragon Ball over and over and over again in high school. And then after I met you and I watched Blue Exorcist because you told me to, and then My Hero I think was next.
Yeah, like I was like maybe like a couple footstones in front of you in terms of having seen shows. So I would tell you to watch the show that like I had just watched, but my knowledge of anime was like maybe like counted on my like two hands. Yeah. And of course they were the typical ones to start out with that like everyone's seen as their first ones.
But like in my I guess close group of like family and then like some friends, I think that they'd probably like refer to me as like, oh, he's anime weeb man or weeb boy, you know? And I'm like, I actually have not seen like anything. Like I hadn't seen Death Note, which apparently everybody has seen. Like I hadn't seen Attack on Titan. I hadn't seen Demon Slayer. Like, and it's such this back to the point I was making.
I'm sorry. I just watched whatever was like next to Disney Channel on the remote control of my TV as a kid. So
well, I watched like Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, like Cartoon Network stuff, some Code Lyoko. That was French though.
Yu-Gi-Oh was my like thing as a kid. I played like real life Yu-Gi-Oh, and you did too, right?
Oh yeah. I had a dual disc and everything. Dual. It was great. All right.
We are off topic.
The point I was trying, this is AutoSave off the rails, a segment that sometimes happens. But yeah, the whole point I was making, I have a nostalgic feeling for this show, and I was surprised at how quickly I got back into it. And I think the animation was really good too, and it was good.
Do you think the theme helps with your nostalgia?
Oh my God,
with the fact that it's so reminiscent of what's so popular of like Marvel superhero?
No.
Comic books.
I don't. I was never into comic books or anything.
But you do watch a lot of Marvel stuff.
Yeah, but that was like just the MCU, like the movies. I actually think that would do something to, at this moment in time, I think it would do something to potentially hurt my experience because I'm feeling like a little burnt out on superhero stuff. But to my surprise, I'm right there. I'm in it. I'm happy. I'm excited. You good?
Yeah, I'm just sad.
Yeah, me too.
Didn't want Twice to die. He had to. By the end there, I was like, oh, Hawks, you're going to have to do it. But I didn't want it to happen. Okay. Yep, I wonder what Mirko's up to.
I'm sad again. Thank you guys for watching this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and we hope to see you next time.